Hello everyone, ShadowRock here with yet another Mega News. This time we got more from Mega Man Zero and ZX Legacy Collection, highlights from an interview with the Mega Man Battle Network developers, an update on First Force Figure's Mega Man 11 statue, and lastly, the results of the voting for the Rockman X DiVE Weapon Design Contest. Let's dash on over to our first topic, as the official Mega Man social media pages have shown us another preview of the higher quality cutscenes and voice dialogue that you can experience in Mega Man Zero and ZX Legacy Collection. In this example, they're using the intro cutscene from Ash's playthrough in Mega Man ZX Advent, as she puts everything she's got into a leap of faith off an airship onto another one. Check it out for yourself.
Bingo! Okay, let's put everything we've got into it! Ha!
Yep, that's a big improvement. How big of an improvement? Well, here's a comparison with the original DS version of that cutscene. The new version definitely looks more like an anime now, and the crisp, uncompressed vocals definitely helps with the voice acting. Now, as long as the gameplay holds up, Mega Man Zero and ZX Legacy Collection could be the definitive way to play Mega Man ZX1 and ZX Advent. And it makes me all the more excited to pick up this collection on February 25th. In other news on this collection, we actually got another trailer titled the Chosen Ones trailer. This one is similar to the Red Hero trailer from before, this time focusing on the ZX series with the biometals. We have our mysterious narrator who we think is X. Actually, thinking about it now, it's probably CL who is giving the report to Prairie in this trailer, as she is expecting the delivery of the biometals. And then they go into how it was by pure chance that Chosen One just happened to be right there, and they didn't expect Model X to be so freaking powerful. And yeah, it's true, for an early game form, Model X is pretty broken, especially for boss battles. Then the trailer explains all the different abilities of the biometals that you can play as in the game. And now the game already implied it, but the trailer does confirm one thing. Do you remember how in ZX Advent, you saw other users using Model H, L, P, and F? And all those models look kind of generic compared to the ones you saw in the first ZX game? Well, the trailer definitely shows us that it is because in the first ZX game, you're double mega merging Model H, L, P, and F with Model X, and that sort of gives them an upgraded form and makes them look more like the Guardians that they're based on. I've already figured this from the beginning, but I know some people were confused about it because I had conversations about it before. After all, in the first ZX game, they are called Model FX and so on. Emphasis on the X part of the name. This connection makes a lot of sense too, because in the Mega Man Zero series, the 4 Guardians were made from the DNA of the original Mega Man X. So it's a pretty cool reference that, in the ZX world, combining the Guardians biometals with Model X makes them look more like their original selves, since X is what makes them what they are. In the trailer we also heard cool remixes like Green Grass Gradation and Trap Phantasm. Otherwise, there's not much more to speak on the trailer itself. It's another well put together one that just gives an overview of what to expect when you play the game. If you want to check it out for yourself in full, it will be in the description below. In other news on this collection, in case you missed it, currently available on our channel is a clean version of the new theme that is making its debut in Mega Man Zero and ZX Legacy Collection. The song that you heard in the trailers, titled Reboot. It's not the in-game version, but it is the version that was performed at Rockman Live 2020, which the last concert just took place last weekend. And thanks to the efforts of Reptoid 21XX recording that concert, both the video of the concert and the wonderful remix tracks and the debut of Reboot that is at the center of it are now available for Mega Man fans everywhere to listen to. Unfortunately, the original upload of Reptoid 21XX's recording of the concert was taken down by a copyright strike from a company that owns Nico Nico, which is where the live stream originally happened. Other people have uploaded the same recording on YouTube, but suffice to say, they may not stay up for long. So if you're interested in downloading the concert for yourself, you better hunt that down quick. These days, Japanese companies really are cracking down harder than ever on things from their IP leaking out, and they are well within their rights to do so. So yeah, the concert may not be publicly available for too long, but I am at least happy that this little part of Mega Man history is going to be preserved for the future. Nothing was really announced at the concert other than the ZeroZX soundbox, but boy, the whole event from the guests to the amazing songs that were a part of it are truly rocktastic. There will be links in the description below to users such as Rockman Corner and RockMeaB, who has uploaded the soundtrack from the concert and MP3 files. Definitely grab those while you still can. And thank you to all these users for preserving this concert. Speaking of the future, the Mega Man Battle Network series is almost 20 years old. So TV Tokyo had a chance to sit down with Mr. Famous himself, Masakazu Iguchi, and many other members of the Mega Man Battle Network development team, and even Mega Man producer Kazuyo Tsuchiya, to talk about all things Battle Network, from the way that the series predicted the all-digital future that we're currently having, with smart devices, computer AI, the internet, and all that stuff, as well as discussions on the development of the series, such as design anecdotes, the history of the series and how it's impacted fans, challenges, and more. It's all a very interesting read, and luckily for us we can read it, thanks to a translation from our good friend Sidier, who is the one who sends us the tips for this one. Thank you very much, dude. The translation being hosted on Rockman Corner. Links to their post and the original interview will be in the description below to check out for yourself. For this video, I want to highlight the end of the interview where they talk about the possibility of future releases in the EXE series. In this section of the interview, the interviewer has a galaxy brain question to start things off, by asking about ports to the since long lost Battle Network mobile games, Phantom of Network and Legend of Network, as well as the arcade game Rockman EXE Battleship Stadium. Now that right there is a deep cut question. What did Capcom have to say about it? Let's read about it. Tsuchiya begins by responding, "Oh yes, there were mobile versions of EXE." Huh? There were EXE games for mobile? Yes, there were. So there's a big demand for them to be ported then? I'll take note of it. I played them once as a part of a test, but I also wish for them to be ported. I remember that the director in charge was very happy at my designs for the Jamming Man. The arcade version is harder in terms of technology. Even if we overcome those, reissuing the readers and cartridges to play the game would be hard. Along with this section of the interview, we do have a collage of mugshots from Rockman EXE Phantom of Network. A lot of them are from Battle Network 4 originally, but there are some new ones here, especially the new characters, like Hatman and the new villain Cash. As for Capcom's response to this question, it is interesting that some of them either didn't know that the EXE games existed on mobile, or they weren't aware that there was demand for a port of them. So it's definitely a great thing that this question was even asked, to at least let them know that yes, we do want to play these games. And here's hoping they may be ported one day, either as their own releases or maybe even part of a theoretical Mega Man Battle Network Legacy collection. One can dream at least. Also, I do agree, Ishihara, Jamming Man looks pretty awesome. The next part of the interview has more to do with possible future games in the series. The first question is, if you were to make a new Rockman EXE game now, what kind of game would it be like? Iguchi says, EXE was a thing because it was of an era where the network hadn't matured yet. I think that's a big reason for its success. We depicted things as it'd be good if this ended up happening, or this will happen sooner than you think. But most of it has already become a reality, or reality has overcome our expectations. Hashinaga says, we couldn't expect the Wi-Fi to fly, we did everything with wires back then after all. Iguchi replies, I think it's going to be harder to fit the upcoming times and the packaging of games. I think there's no longer a shared view of the future. Back on the days of the BBS, We all gathered in a single place and had fun together, but now it's the days of the SNS. You could say that society was the main subject, but we're shifting into an age where the individual is the main subject. The future each of them visualize is different from the others. It's a very hard problem to be able to summarize or compile that in the world of a game. Very good points here. As I said, the Mega Man Battle Network series was about predicting the near future in terms of technology. Heck, you could say the series was way ahead of its time because it featured multiplayer, but online wasn't a thing yet. So we could only net battle with our friends next to us, not from across the world. But now times have changed drastically since those games come out, where the age of the internet has brought the world closer, but at the same time further apart, where most of our interactions with friends and family happens over the internet or on our smartphones. Real life interactions has not been a priority for most people for a long time now, which is where the individual being the main subject comes in. Being with someone in real life is nice and everything, but it's become much easier to find like-minded people or people with similar interests online, where you can meet up with literally anyone in the world. And in a way, the Battle Network series did predict that. Anyway, yeah, technology has advanced so far that I can see how it might be harder to predict the future from here, especially for a game like Battle Network, where that was the main topic of the day. I could at least see them incorporating some of the advancements in technology we're having today and taking those ideas back to the Battle Network series and see what they come up with. Our last question just simply asks, there are fans out there who wish for a new game, but does the possibility exist? Series producer Kazuhiro Tsuchiya says, each series has its own fans, and I've heard a lot of voices asking for sequels. There's no rule that says we're not going to make any sequels for this game. However, we are proud of Rockman EXE being top contents back in the day, and shadow ideas are not the answer to the avid voices. To make a sequel, we need careful ideas and preparations, the trends of the age, and whether the market is right for it. We need all of these factors to be perfectly on our side. And yep, this is like the third time I think that Tsuchiya has said they definitely know that people want sequels to all their favorite Mega Man series, and they're not going to deny any series of their sequel. You could say Battle Network doesn't need a sequel, Land and Mega Man's story is done. They had a proper ending in 6, and that is certainly true. But what Tsuchiya is saying here is that if there are some great new ideas, people really want these games to happen, it looks like these games will sell, then there may indeed be sequels to Battle Network one day. Personally, I'm hoping for a sequel where they follow Land's son, Patch, and his net Navi, according to Mega Man Star Force 2, Mega Man Jr., which is like the combination of the best of Mega Man EXE and Roll EXE. On the sequel, Iguchi followed up with this. There are some parts that were due to coincidences, but since we're being told you predicted the future, these games did satisfy expectations. Overcoming those components is no easy task. We must overcome our imagination as we meet up with the expectations. If conditions for us to be so confident happen, then there might be a chance. The interview ends off with, it's been a long time, but Rockman EXE still remains in the hearts of those who were youngsters back in the day. The hurdle is indeed high, but when the legendary staff members see through the next age, Rockman EXE might make the fans enthusiastic again. Amen! So it's good to know what's going through the developers' minds when they think about making a theoretical Mega Man Battle Network 7. If such a game were to be created, they definitely want to keep with the theme of predicting the future. It's not going to be easy to do, like we talked about before, but let's hope that they do find a way to make all that happen. Let's be real though, I think Star Force 4 deserves to happen more, but who knows, these guys may be working on something for Battle Network as we speak, and it may come sooner than we think, just maybe not the way we expect. Once again, links to all the interviews and translations will be in the description below. Do give it a read. Meanwhile, in the merchandising department, first 4 figures Mega Man 11 statue is coming soon. This is going to be a 1/4 scale resin statue featuring the Blue Bomber himself and his pose based on the Mega Man 11 box art. Pre-orders for this figure will be going up soon, and that will be happening alongside a launch live stream on January 24th, 2020 at 8 p.m. Central Time. Also, if you pre-order early, you will get a 10% discount, which is pretty nice. During the launch live stream, they plan to go through all the details of the statue, including the smaller PVC version, and answering a bunch of questions as well. That is all the details we have, but definitely tune in for that live stream if you are interested on January 24th at 8 p.m. CST, or you can wait until our next Mega News following the live stream so you can get the details from us. However you go about it, the promotional image here looks awesome, and it would be nice to see the statue in all its mega glory. In the meantime, you can check out First 4 Figures website through the links in the description below. Thank you to Mega World for the tip on this one. Now for our last segment, we're going to be talking about Mega Man X DiVE. Today's the day that they are announcing the results of the voting for the weapon design contest. Of course, we could have seen the votes all this time, but we just wanted to wait for the official announcement before we talked about it. On the official Facebook page, the X DiVE development team says, "The online voting ends. Thanks for your participation. Our development team is in the process of reviewing. Please stay tuned. Notice, number of vote, integrity, and developability of the creations will be taken into reviewing. Capcom Taiwan reserves the final decision on winners. We apologize for the inconvenience caused." So like what's noted on the website way back, regardless of the amount of votes an entry gets, it does matter, but at the end of the day, the development team is still going to get the final word on which weapons are going to make it into the game and who gets the prize. Let's take a look at the weapon design contest website, and we can determine the top 3 in terms of votes. Currently in first place is this saber that is designed based on a bird feather by ZeroZX. Second place is the brutal saber by Mark 7. In third place is this cool buster that seems to open up to be more like a bow and arrow design, which is by Kameto Ame, though they don't really give any descriptions about the weapon itself. Honorable mentions goes to this double-bladed saber, which I believe got 4th place, but I really like this one because, like I said in the last video talking about this, it reminds me of Star Wars, and I think it would be pretty cool to see Zero with a double-bladed weapon. As for the one we were rooting for, I'm a Speck of Dust, and her steam-powered Gatling gun, we got a good amount of votes for it, but it looks like it placed 11th in comparison to the other entries. Of course, the developers are going to get the final say on the top 10, and Speck's Gatling gun did get more votes than the other Gatling gun in the contest, so I'm just hoping the developers might give this one some more love than it got, because I actually do like this one, aside from my bias being from someone close to me. We need more variety of Gatling guns in this game, guys. But anyway, I do have to say, I feel bad for anybody like Unexpected Dust that was hoping for any kind of fair competition in this one. When you take a look at the top spots that have tens of thousands of votes, and then you start getting down to 10th place and below that have just hundreds of votes, you get down further and there's some entries that still only have 50 to 100 votes, and that's where it starts to look pretty fishy. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, the entries that got the most votes are looking pretty suspicious right now. The reason being, while you're not supposed to vote multiple times a day, the website has no protections in place against things like making multiple email accounts or using bots that just refresh the page and vote all day long. Are there really 30,000 people that were looking at this contest and voting? It's possible, but when you consider that you could vote for 5 entries per day, the ratio of votes between the different entries do look pretty sketchy. Suffice to say, it looks like this contest was beyond rigged. It became more about who can make the most email accounts or use bots than the quality of the designs themselves. I mean, the top 3 looks pretty good, except for the Brutal Saber. I'm honestly not a big fan of it. How did that one get so many votes? I'm sorry. But yeah, I do wonder how the results would look like if the X DiVE team actually prevented you from making multiple email accounts using bots and all that. I hope they do take that into account when they're doing their final decisions of who's gonna win. I'm not necessarily saying that everybody cheated, but it definitely feels like some rigging has been going on behind the scenes. And that's a real shame to me. Especially when a lot of these entries here in this contest are pretty amazing. But for now, those are your top 3 that may become the next weapons in EXEdive. Do you like these top 3? Or do you wish something else made it in? Let us know in the comment section below. In other EXEdive news, the development team shared this image of our navigator RiCO wearing casual clothes. It's literally the same as her usual design, but transformed into human-like clothes. You can see how it's more baggy than the Reptoid armor would be. Along with this image, they asked the fans, do you want to see RiCO wear casual clothes like this? What do you think? You can let us know in the comment section below, but as for me, yeah, sure, I guess. RiCO does appear a lot in the game, so having alternate costumes for her would be a welcome sight. But if you're gonna make casual human-like clothes for her, I would suggest making different designs rather than just the same one, but more baggy. Other than that, I don't really mind the casual clothes thing. It might seem weird because they're robots, but hey, weirder things have happened. That will do it for this Mega News. Thank you so much for watching, and of course for all things Mega Man ZeroZX Legacy Collection, EXEdive, Battle Network, and all things Mega Man, stay tuned to ShadowRockZX. Until next time, rock on and have a great day.